get my hair in order. My lips is all chapped and crusty. YouTube loves to take forever to get people in the live. Hey y'all. Finally, I swear they never like show the people come into the live stream. Maybe like so delayed. Hey y'all, hey everybody. How's everybody doing? I know it's like really late. Random. I wasn't planning on going live until like literally 5-10 minutes ago. It's literally 10 p.m. where I'm at. So it's like super duper late, super random. I literally was trying to contemplate what to do. Oh, I was looking for to keep my dry ass lips. Hold on. Sorry, y'all, my lips be dry. I be watching some of my videos back like, dang, your lips was dry. But yeah, like I said, I know it's like super late. I didn't even bother putting on any makeup. I didn't bother putting on brushing my hair. I just kind of like got on here. But I wanted to like talk basically because I've been sitting here for like the past like 20-30 minutes, probably even longer, honestly, just laying in bed. I literally like closed my laptop for today. I've been editing a super long interview that I did. And I'm just like mentally like I had to close my laptop. I'm like, I cannot continue on. Um, and the reason why I was like trying to push myself, get it done, get it done, get it done. Even though I have a few more days to do it, but I wanted to get it done tonight because it's just like I'd be so overwhelmed. And the reason why I'm overwhelmed is because I feel like a lot of people go through trauma, but they don't really know like how to actually like deal with it. And I feel like that's like where I've been at for like the past a long time, honestly. So I was like, who else would know how to answer my questions other than maybe some of my fan base, some of my subscribers, some of my loyal supporters? So this is pretty much the issue. So, like I said, I feel like a lot of people go through trauma, and I'm one of them people. I've been through a lot of stuff, like as a kid, middle school, high school, college, all of that, a lot. And the other day I had mentioned that, and yes, y'all, I'm just gonna be super emotional because it's just not gonna stop. That's why I had to get on live because I had no other choice. Well, I'm not crying because I'm like, let me get on live, but I'm like, I don't have no other outlet right now, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I've been through a lot. The other day I did a video, somebody asked about like my book, and I talked about like, I want to detail a lot of stuff in my book. And I feel like the reason why my book has obviously taken a while to come out, I've been saying something about a book for the longest, is because like it is going to be part of my trauma on paper forever. And that part doesn't scare me. I think I've been super transparent on YouTube, on social media, in person, to my people, super transparent for the longest. So that part doesn't scare me. I think what scares me is like I've never dealt with my trauma ever. Um just like the way how y'all probably see me on YouTube is like, oh, she's always speaking very like eloquently, or she's always kind of just talking about things in its entirety, being very honest, very transparent, very open, very honest again, with the things that I say. And it's like I feel like I've learned to be that way because of trauma, you know? I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but I feel like I've literally learned to be the way how I am because of the things that I've dealt with. I have this like theory that had I not gone through some of the things that I did just over the years, I wouldn't be this way. Like I wouldn't be on YouTube with this fan base, with people who look forward to what I have to say about certain things, who I guess you could say has a talent to be able to analyze things and just talk about them and also not give a damn what people got to say. Like I feel like that wasn't the path that was set for me, but I am a very firm believer. So I feel like that's what God put, for me to happen. And I also feel like, certain, I'm gonna get a little religious, but I feel like, God chooses certain people to kind of be vessels through him. So sometimes I feel like that's me. And that's why I've been able to like talk about things. But I've realized the other day, like it triggered me for some reason. Somebody asked me about my book, or no, I said something about my book. And then somebody was like, oh, I can't wait for it. A few people come to them, like, okay, they're still anticipating, which is great, Chama, because you've been talking about this and it hasn't come out. Excuse me for being sporadic. My thoughts are not clear right now. However, I started realizing as I picked up my laptop and started working back on it that I have never dealt with this stuff. Nobody's ever heard me talk about this stuff. At least not as the adult brain that I have now, and definitely not in a civil manner where I'm like, okay, this is what transpired. This is the way how I am, or this is the reason why I am how I am, and so forth. So just for like context, I mean, people are saying like what happened, but it's like a multitude of things. But like in particular, just the one like I guess you could say most comfortable. Like in college, I had like a really, really, really bad relationship. Both my relationships in college were bad, but one of them was like I hate even saying somebody was worse than the other because I feel like they were both bad. But the first one I felt because I was 19, and you remember I brought this up the other day in my video, my Summer Walker video. I was 19, he was 24. And I just like being 26 now makes me realize like you were manipulated, and you don't really realize those things initially. Oh, okay. I can do it. So I can't even like begin to list you certain things that happened, like from the physicality to the mental part, which is the worst, to just some of the words. People say things and people like words don't hurt, but words do hurt. And I realized like as strong as I am and as I don't give a fuck as I am, it's just certain things that like you will forever remember. Like you could hear somebody's voice when they said something crazy to you, even if it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I remember dating this guy, and at first I felt like, oh, I'm so lucky to be with somebody who has all of this criteria, who's so accomplished, at least that's what I thought. Who's well liked by everybody and who essentially chose me, to be with him. But again, like I said, I was 19, he was 24, he had graduated college, I was literally a sophomore. And then when I look back now, this individual had been like, following me on social media for a while before we ever spoke. And I remember I got into a car accident in October of 2016. And during that car accident, it was like super bad, like really bad car accident. I fell asleep driving in the middle of the night by myself in the middle of some hick town in Ohio. Not gonna lie. And everybody's messaging me, oh, I'm so glad you're okay, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? You get well soon. So boom, this individual messaged me the same message. Like, I hope that you're okay, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't realize at the time that that was somebody who saw how vulnerable I was. I was like, shooken up. I was scared. I had to like withdraw from school. I was in college, withdraw from school for like almost a month. It was so hard for me to get my grades up that semester. I remember being I had missed so much. My parents were still living in Pennsylvania. I'm going to school in Ohio. My parents made me come back home for like 2 weeks. So that was around the time where I'm sitting at home bored, not having anything to do. And now I'm starting to build a connection with this individual. So that was the beginning. And it took until literally somebody asked me, when is the book coming? And I went back and I looked at all the stuff that I've written. I'm like, wow, this person preyed on the fact that you were pretty much in a mentally messed up mode, and that's when he decided to talk to you. Like I said, we had already been, you know, following each other, maybe liking each other's pictures. It's college, everybody kind of is small, but doing all of that for the longest. And then he waited until a time where, I was vulnerable to talk to me. I didn't realize that at the time, of course. So just to kind of speak quickly about some of the things that have happened. When I talk about like the mental manipulation, that was the number one thing. You know, I just remember being played around so much was like, I'm with you, then I'm not with you. I remember one time, at one point I was so scared of my ex, like he would like break into my house, right? My apartment. And my roommates would tell me like, we're not with, you got to get this together because it's other people that live here. So I remember one time he came over, and his organization, like I said, I said it, he was in a fraternity. His organization was having a some event, like a women's appreciation event. And I had like a lot of Victoria's Secret like sprays at the time. Every girl did. It was like a thing back then to like collect Victoria's Secret sprays. So I had like a whole bunch. And I just remember like he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna just take these and we gonna sell them at the little woman's appreciation thing for my fraternity." And I was just like, "No." Literally no. And just to see how fast like his personality just switched, like went from loving to like, "I hate you." So he like looks at me and he does like this little laugh, like he like one of those little, narcissistic evil laughs. Took my sprays. I had like a big basket, maybe at least 20 had to been in there. Starts just throwing them, breaking them against my wall, throwing them at me. And I remember this so vividly. I remember like the whole, not the holes, but like scratches, dents, or whatever on the drywall. And I just remember this. And the nigga still had the audacity to take the remaining ones and leave out with them that night, all because I told him no. And like I said, I was 19. So I promise you, like, I hate making excuses now as a grown person, but I think with a grown person mind now. Back then, I was not thinking about, this is abusive. I'm thinking like we got into an argument, we'll get over it. That's just one, scenario. Then obviously you put in like infidelity, cheating. So many people coming to me like, "Oh, he did this, he said this, he's with this girl, blah, 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 blah." I remember he went out of the country with this girl. I had no clue. I saw it on Instagram. Like, I remember I was getting ready to go to something YouTube related with back then I did like a YouTube collaboration with other YouTubers, Nigerian YouTubers. The day before I went on that trip, my friend calls me, my roommate calls me. She was just like, "Did you see what such and such posted?" I'm like, "No." Said, "Go to his page." Go to his page. I like can't see whatever it is. So I'm like, "Send it to me." So she sends it to me, and it's him literally on a vacation out of the country with this girl. And so much had happened before that where he was like asking me for money, or just like, my birthday was like a few weeks before this, and it was just like, happy birthday. Um, all this nice stuff just for you to literally be out of the country with another girl, basically cheating. I just remember that. So, like I said, the physicality, the obviously infidelity, but the mental was like the craziest. So I say all this to say, I never realized how mentally messed up I have been because of that situation. Like, it started there. Anything that I dealt with prior to that in high school is probably nothing. I probably don't even remember half the people that I ever texted in high school. But being a sophomore in college and that being like my first time being like in a relationship type of thing. Like I had an ex in high school, but like I'm saying, it was childish. But like being that was like the first time I was in like a real relationship. Um, that was my literal opening to relationships. So sorry, y'all. I had Chipotle earlier. But I remember after that situation where, I found out about the girl and stuff, I was just like so numb, and like he wasn't remorseful. um, I remember him asking me to lie for him, like to tell the girl that I'm like nobody to him so that he could be with her. And I don't know if y'all ever watched my video where I said I dated a colorist. If y'all go back and watch that video, I'm like legitimately talking about this man. So you can literally figure out more of what he's done and said and whatnot just off of that video alone. And I remember him asking me to do that, and I remember being so mentally fried that I lied for him. Like I obviously I was done with the situation at that time, but it was just like to downplay myself as if like, okay, you're not nobody, or this man never meant anything to you. This guy's never this, that, and a third. Like to downplay myself like that for his own satisfaction for some other woman was just like, Chama, what the hell were you thinking? So The reason why I'd say, an emotional conversation about trauma is because I've never dealt with the trauma. And I tweeted the other day, like, I really need to go to therapy, but I don't want to like reopen my trauma. And I don't know who it was, but they wrote me back and they were like, encouraging me to do it. Let me see if I can find it. I barely tweet. I tried to though, but I'm not one to like just talk about my business. I said I need therapy, but I really can't convince myself to go. I don't want to reopen my wounds. So somebody wrote me back and was like, damn, oh my gosh. If you feel like that, it's probably because everything is not fully processed yet. Please, sis, invest in yourself and excuse me, can't talk. Please, sis, invest in yourself and your mental well-being. Go to therapy. It's the best self-care decision you can start with love and absolutely no shade. So, I wrote her back and I said, thank you. And it's like, to this day, I've never once tackle this head on. I could give y'all all this great advice based off of my experiences and all of these videos that I be talking about, all these celebrity girls, whether it's the rapper baby mamas or just the R&B singers or the Instagram girlies or whatever, because I feel like, I've dealt with the same type of men that they've dealt with. I feel like I understand their pain, but I also have gotten myself out of that situation to know like, okay, you really do need to heal. Now, trust me, I feel like I have healed a lot. I'm not really, it doesn't really get to me, but I had to realize like this week after like looking at the video in the comments, going back and looking at some of my book, reading, that tweet, I had to realize, Chama, are you healed? Or has time just gone by to the point where you're just numb to what hurts you? That's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm like, excuse me, that's where I'm trying to like contemplate like which one truly is it? Are you healed or has time just gone by where you're now literally numb to what has hurt you? And I feel like it's the second option. I mean, part of me is healed, but part of me is healed because of time and kind of embracing and adapting this like, okay, you're better than that mindset. You don't have to deal with this mindset. You can move on. You deserve better. All of that is like fine. I'm a very confident individual. But now it's like if I was to go back on the dating scene, I almost feel like I can't. Like the thought of me going on a date scares me. And I'm like, how does that scare you? Like if somebody had great intentions, why does that scare you? Even past that, the thought of me being sexually involved with somebody scares the hell out of me. It's like I feel like I would get to the moment and just tell him like, okay, I don't want to do this. Hence why I don't date. The thought of me trusting someone scares me to the point where, like I said, I don't date. The last time I think I went on a date was literally like 2021. And I think I talked about this in the recent video too, where it was like a weekend date. It was nice. And he was respectful and he plays, he's an NFL player. So like I feel like he was just being nice, spent his money or whatever. But like I just couldn't bring myself to like get into it because I felt like you just were in these situations in which how can you sit here and move forward with these individuals when internally your mind isn't even like on that. I don't even know if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. And I be telling myself it's not that I'm afraid to be in a relationship. I'm just scared of the worst case scenario, maybe. But even at that, like when I see red flags, I cut it. I don't even proceed. I do not collect 200 and pass go. F that 200. I just literally detach. Like my detachment game, my cutoff game is strong. I ain't gonna lie. Um, but I had to notice my pattern too with like what I was going for, what type of guys I was dating or picking or attracted to or whatever. And like I said, my experiences are from college, which isn't like grown people dating. That was just like the last time I was actively doing this. And I felt like in college, like I was very what's the word? I hate to say objectified, but like that's the word that's coming to my head. And by objectified, I mean like I worked in college sports, D1 sports. I'm tall, I have a fat ass. We know this. And I always felt like the types of guys that were attracted to me were the guys that wanted girls like me, like oh, she looks athletic, she's tall, she has a big figure, her body, she also has this following. And that's another thing, the following. There's a lot of guys I feel like won't talk to me because they think, oh, you have all these followers, so it got to be a lot of niggas on your ass. Absolutely not. Like my DMs be like, people DM me, don't get me wrong, but like it's never quality individuals. Now, am I gonna meet somebody online? Probably not. I'm not necessarily against it, but it's not like my preferred way to meet somebody. So I've been trying to figure out, how do I address this trauma? That's the reason for this live. How do I fix this? Or at least I know it's not like a one answer thing where you just go ahead and, oh, you do this and you're healed. That's impossible. But I just want to get on the steps of like really, really tackling this because I feel like it's gonna affect me worse. Like I said, the longer I've been going, being single, not dating, not being sexual, the more I'm turned off to it. And I don't want to be like that person where it's like, oh, well, you don't even let anybody talk to you. I don't want to be that person. And it's not really about like, oh, I need a relationship to solidify myself. Hell no, I've been single 3 years. But it's just like, now that when I get attention, I've been outside this summer, but now I get this attention, it's like I don't even care. Like I'd be like, oh, okay, I'm just talking to somebody just to chop it up with somebody. Whereas they may have different types of intentions, and I'm not even reading the room anymore because I don't even look at that anymore. Like, it doesn't cross my brain. So that was a little bit about, like I said, the first guy I dated in college. And I swear that Summer Walker video, I can't even believe how triggered I got. I rewatched it today on YouTube, and I usually don't watch the videos after I post them, unless somebody be like, "Oh, you said this," so I go back and be like, "What did I really say?" All right, but I usually just never watch the videos back. So today, I'm running a lot of errands, and I watched it, and I'm like, damn, like you really did date two fuck niggas. Like you really did. Um back to back at that. Like and I just keep telling myself, like, Shama, you've never caught a break. You got people that literally sit here and say, you're so pretty, you're so smart, I look up to you, all these different things, and I embrace it. I love it. I accept it. It adds to my confidence, it adds to my prestige, it adds to my self-assurance. Obviously you need to do those things by yourself, but it does add, having this platform has been a blessing. So thank y'all. If you're watching, all 300 of y'all, thank y'all. But then it's just like, I'm not gonna say people on the outside don't see that about me because I think that's not fair to say. I think a lot of people in my daily life really do acknowledge my platform or just my success or what I have going for myself. But I feel like on the dating end or the guys, it's more about, she has this following, she has this look. Let me look at her for what the titles are and the objective aspect of what she is. Now, of course, it's like you're gonna find the one for you, of course, right? And that's great, but I don't want Mr. Right to come along and I'm not healed, because what can I do when Mr. Right is right here, but I'm the one that's messed up? So I'm just trying to figure out, like, what steps do I take? I've Ever since that situation from college, I've become way more, close to God. And I grew up in the Catholic Church. I'm confirmed Catholic. Um, I'm also Nigerian, so y'all know how Nigerians be about religion. And I be thinking to myself, like, okay, you've gotten so much closer to God. And that has been a huge step, because I feel like even if you're not religious, if you don't believe in something, it's kind of hard. I feel like it's harder for you in life if you don't believe in something, even outside of religion. I would want people to believe in something. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, what to do, like, how to do it, where to go. Like, I really do think therapy will help me, but like, it's just that fear of getting in that room and having to tell whomever, this is what I've dealt with. Things that people don't know, people that would never guess, So kind of to like transition slash end off, at the end of college was like another bad situation, but I think it was worse for me. Um, Maybe not. I don't know if it was worse or not. Um, but I think it was just affected me because at my last year of college, I was a fifth year senior, because I changed my major like 3 times. Don't do that. Figure out what you want to do. Um, but I went into that last year like I just want to have fun. I want to enjoy this last year. Um, I'm saying I'm a lot, and I usually don't. But yeah, I went into that situation like I want to go to every party. I want to go to every kickback. Is that blood? The hell? Random. The Anyway, I want to go to every kickback. I want to do everything, every football game, every basketball game. I want to go to everything because I spent a decent amount of time in college, like not having a social life. Despite what y'all saw in the college vlogs, I would go to events to get the footage and then go home. I wouldn't go to parties after a while. I didn't like go out. I didn't do stuff after a while. I was just more like going to events that were like pertaining to the organizations I was a part of, but not really like actually having a social life. Um, and I feel like during a certain point, like in the beginning, the guy I was dating was more like, you can't go to this. I better not see you here. Don't go to this, blah, 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 blah. And my stupid ass was listening. And then with the second guy, it was like we went to everything. Like if it was a party, we going. We both gonna go. Um, People don't know that we date because Chama keep her business to herself. But we gonna go here. We're gonna go there. When we at the party, maybe you might peep it, but it's not really out there. That I've always kind of been like that. I don't really like people. I don't. I don't like being the center of attention at all. At all, unless it's like an event for me. I don't want to be the center of attention. Um, so where the hell was I even going? But yeah, so at the end of college, like I said, I'm going through different, I wanted to be social. So I started going to everything. Obviously, COVID cut that short, but started going to everything. And I feel like it was a mix of going out, drinking, and I'm not a drinker. I wasn't really drinking, but with my last guy that I dated in college, I started drinking. I'm someone who never drinks, never drinks. What, Thomas? Never, who doesn't drink, who would never drink. Even smoking, didn't smoke in college. Sorry, didn't do any of that until that last year because I'm like, I want to be social, right? So we're doing these things, and it's like an intermix of like the college scene, the turn up scene, and dating. So this guy's like very out there in terms of, he's attractive, but like girls like you because you're an athlete, you're cute, whatever. I again couldn't understand why he even wanted anything to do with me. I'm not gonna say I think low of myself, but I feel like my self-esteem wasn't as high as it is now back then. Just because I feel like when you grow up a black girl, a tall girl, darker complected in a white school, um, you're not picked. You know what I'm saying? It was never trauma. It was maybe trauma when I was around like my Nigerian community and stuff. That's different. But like, at school, it was never, oh, Chama is the girl that we want, right? So I was not used to being sought after. Like in college is when I started realizing, like, damn, maybe you are a bad bitch. Especially when I gained my grown woman weight, which was like 2018. I gained like 30 pounds in one summer. I got up to 200 pounds and couldn't even, I was like, how are you like, it makes sense for my body. I'm 200 pounds right now and I love my body, but like everybody, that was the year that I realized like, oh, you're getting so much more attention now. All the guys that all the girls like or whatever be in your DM, stuff like that. But I would never pay any mind because it's not me. It's not my personality. No matter what, it's never been my personality to care about that type of attention. But in this case scenario, like I said, I think I fell for the bait. I fell for the you're this guy and I'm this girl, and it makes sense for us to be together. And I feel like that was a huge mistake because, like I said, you're mixing college, you're mixing artificial status, social titles that really don't mean shit. You're mixing drinking, smoking, you're mixing going out, you're mixing friends, you're mixing everything, just so mixy. And I think me and this guy, like we weren't supposed to like each other. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was going into it like I just want some good dick. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I was going into it like it's my last year. I've been celibate at the time. Like, I was with nobody for like 9 months. I'm like, okay, so last year you deserve to like really live a college life. You've spent your whole college doing this YouTube thing. You've neglected being social just to do YouTube and build yourself. So enjoy this last year. So when I did, I went overboard with it that last year. And maybe not even overboard, but just like I really just did everything. I'm talking, you could call my friends right now. I was calling them, yo, Friday night we going to this, Thursday night we going to this, Saturday night we going to this. Shit, Sunday we might even go to this. Like Tuesday night we might go to this. They used to have the Tuesday night $2 blue motherfuckers, the little drink, the blue drink. So yeah, I was doing everything. So I just remember like that social scene and me straying away from like how I usually am made my mind be convoluted by what I should really be looking for. So the relationship started off as, honestly, I'll be real, like a sexual relationship. I was perfectly fine with that. I'm like, I'm 22. Um, I'm in college. This is my last year. I'm definitely graduating. I've accomplished so much. This is kind of all I really want right now. I don't want to get into anything serious because I know I'm about to graduate. But one thing led to another. Now you like somebody, now they like you, now y'all done caught feelings. Typical college story. And just with him is just more the infidelity and the way how the infidelity was like going, like it was constant. Like this girl is texting me or email, not emailing, DMing me these receipts, but then you'll come and like lie to me and be like, it's not like that. Now he's sending me a whole different set of text messages that honestly are very convincing. And I'm like, all right, well, I should believe you, even though I shouldn't believe you. And then one thing led to another. Now it's COVID, right? So now nobody's going to school. Everybody's literally on break forever at that point. So now we're spending every day with each other. Now we're like living together, but not really living together. I have my apartment, he has his apartment, but we're literally living together because we're with each other for 3 days nonstop. And then maybe you go home for a day and you come back the next day. Now we're in each other's faces for another 4 days. Then maybe I go home for 2 days, or I might go home for the weekend, see my parents, come back. Like it was just, I'm in this person's face all the time. We're in each other's space all the time. And obviously, like I said, it was the pandemic. So it's like you couldn't really cheat during the pandemic. So I thought. I believe at a period of time he probably was being faithful, because what can you do when everybody left and you're stuck with me, right? So I'm believing like we're building and this is gonna work. And I'm like stupid because I'm like, you're never gonna be with this guy. Like I went into it like he got baggage. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he got baggage. So you're not, if you read between the lines when I say he got baggage, like you got baggage. You're not being serious, but you can be DTF. You know what I'm saying? That's how I was thinking. And it was cool. Of course, everything's perfect for the first, what, 1 month, 2 months, maybe even three. For the first like 3 months, it was cool. And this is somebody who pressed me, like was really asking me to come over. I was ducking him for like a month. I'm like, I don't want to go over. But it was like, kept texting me, kept writing me. Eventually, I'm like, okay, whatever. I remember the first day we hung out, I was on my period. I was so happy I was on my period. I'm like, yes. That way, if he tries anything, it's not happening. But we were doing homework together and it was cool. And he was saying some freak shit. I ain't gonna lie, but I just straight up told him like, nah, like I'm on my period. He was just like, okay, it's cool. I remember when he walked me to my car, he was just like, can I give you a kiss? And I was like, no. And he was just like, okay, maybe next time. And I was like, okay. So super gentleman. In the beginning, this man is buying me stuff. And that's what the first guy did too. Like he would buy, I'm talking, call me, hey, be ready and dressed in like an hour. We about to go to this Japanese steakhouse. Okay. Got up, went to the Japanese steakhouse. I felt like, wow, like, is this how a boyfriend is supposed to be? Is this how I'm supposed to be treated? Not realizing all of that was like smoke screens so that he can feel that I'm emotionally invested into him so he could do whatever he wants once he gets me to the point where I'm like so comfortable. And I remember him literally telling me this. I'm talking about the first guy. I remember him telling me like, one day I confronted him. I said, why did you, in the beginning of us dating, why did you tell me this and this and this and this and this? And he was just like, well, I had to get you. And I started thinking like, okay. A lot of it was lies. Like he told me that he was like a personal chef. That nigga was not no chef. He told me he was, I don't know why the hell I believe this one. He told me he was sponsored by Nike. Why the hell did I believe that stupid shit? Why did I believe that? I don't know what I was thinking, but you live and you learn. But yeah, he told me a whole bunch of like sweet nothings. He came over. I remember he brought groceries. He cooked a whole like steak dinner in my apartment. Like I said, we were going out to the steakhouse. We were going to the mall. One day, like he was like, "I'm about to come pick you up from class. We're gonna go get your and it's a surprise." Then we pull up to the mall for him to get my nails done. I remember one day, like this is now we're in the on and off of now you're being abusive or this or that. One day he showed up to my apartment and he had like a little jewelry box. I'm thinking it's a ring. I opened it, it was some earrings. And I was like, that's nice, but I don't know if y'all notice I don't wear earrings. I'm trying to, because everybody's like, why don't you wear earrings? I'm like, I just never been. I lost a pair of gold earrings when I was 10, and I never wore earrings after that. Like every so often I would, but my mom was so mad at me. I just never put my earrings back in. But I remember him like buying me the earrings, and he was just like, I just want to show you this for a token of my appreciation and how much I care about you, blah blah blah. And he pulls out the earrings, the little thing. I'm like, this nigga finna propose. It was some earrings though. But I was just like, well, they were still very nice, don't get me wrong. But it was just like you basically love bomb me with so much, but it was like you would do these nice things and then you would act crazy. And I'm talking crazy. Like I just told y'all the story of like when he threw all that stuff at me and damaged my wall. Um, it was one time that like we really got into it bad, and I wanted him to leave my house, and he had his stuff at my house, and I was like trying to take it out. I'm like literally taking it downstairs, going back up, taking more of it downstairs. um and he was just like laughing the whole time, and then I remember like I'm like bawling, crying, and then he was just like, stop taking my shit out, Chama. I'm not going anywhere and you're not going anywhere. And I was just like, I'm so over it, blah 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 blah, like why do you do this? And he's just like laughing, and then he was like trying to like, I'm like trying to like get him to leave, I remember. And I'm like, get off me, like don't touch me. And he's like trying to like hold my wrist and stuff. I don't know why. And I guess I just caught cool and I went boom. And I'm talking like really hit him in his shit. Like I was like, wow, that felt good. Even though I'm not condoning that, but I'm just saying. And I just remember that. And he literally turned red. Like he saw red. I remember he like picked me up so hard and like slammed me on the bed. Mind you, these the college beds, hard as hell, no fucking like, softness, like not this nice bed that I spent $800 on. Like he really slammed me. I remember like my back just went, and I'm like, damn. To this day, I be having back problems, but I think it's because I lift at the gym so much. But I say all that to say, like, he would do stuff like that, and I promise you, the next time it was like him damn near like in an emotional state, like apologizing profusely, trying to do something to make up for it. So it's just like that has been the cycle from him. And then with the second guy, it was like kind of similar, but for him, it was more like love bombing. In the beginning, like showing me hella attention, giving me like take me to get my nails done. It's college, so I don't expect nobody to buy me a bag or anything, but like, take me to get my nails done, take me out on dates, buying me shoes. Everybody that knows me knows I love Uggs. I love Uggs. I have so many pairs. Even looking at the pair that he bought me, I barely wear them. They're a pink pair. I wear them, but I barely wear them because like every single time I touch them, it just reminds me of him. So I don't know. It's just I've realized the trauma. And then to end this all, the one thing that like really triggered me is I recall a few years ago on Snapchat. This had to have been like 2017 or 18. I think it was 2017. This was at the end of me and the first guy's situation. We, like I said, we started getting together end of 2016, and honestly, the last time I spoke to him I remember it was March 2018, because I remember being on spring break. I remember he lied to me, and he went to Miami for spring break and lied to me about it. And I just saw the pictures on Instagram. And I remember we just had like a long text message conversation. And I said something like so disrespectful, like really disrespectful. I'm not going to lie. His mother had just passed away. And I basically said something along the lines of like, kind of like that show Karma. I shouldn't have said that, but that was the last thing I said, and we have never talked ever since then. Um, but I think in 2017, one day I don't even know, I can't tell you, I don't remember what he did. He did so much. He did something and I was like completely fed up. So I like exposed him all over Twitter, Instagram, not Instagram, Twitter and Snapchat. And so the other day, the messages came up on my Snapchat. I'm gonna see if I even still have them in here. I kind of feel like I don't. Um, and boom, here they are. Actually, they are in here. So the other day, it came up on my Snapchat, and I was like so shooken up by this. So, like I said, I'm gonna talk deeply about this in my book, but I just wanted to like read some of the stuff. And I was like, ladies, mind you, I wrote this 2 days after my 20th birthday. I said, ladies, don't ever waste your time with any man that throws you into a tub and turns the water on cold because you fell asleep and didn't answer the door. And I thought back to that situation. I'm like, I almost forgot that he did that. Um, it was a situation where he told me he was coming over, but he was like taking forever and I was sick. So I took some medicine. I fell asleep. He kept calling my phone. I think my phone was probably on like, I don't think there was do not disturb at the time, but it was probably on silent. And eventually I woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and I see that like 35 missed calls. I'm like, what the hell? So when I called back, I didn't even look at the text messages. He said, I called back at me. And I'm like, hello. He's like going in, like, did you not fucking see my text messages? Blah, 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 all this shit. He was like, you lucky I didn't get on the highway. I'm coming right back. So I'm thinking like, okay, maybe you were a little mad because, you called me literally 35 times. I didn't answer, but I didn't think he was going to come in and do what he did. So I'm sitting downstairs. Mind you, I had like a townhouse, a college. He came in the house immediately, like didn't even like waste no time, picked me up. We're going up the steps. I'm thinking he's picking me up literally to go put me on the bed and, you know, picks me up, throws me in the tub. I had no, like my bathroom didn't have like no window. So it was like literally dark. Um, Throws me in the tub. Literally, I'm talking drops me in the tub. I'm big as hell, by the way. Remember that. So obviously any man that could pick me up, probably big. Throws me in the tub, turns the water on cold, starts to shower, and starts using the shower head to like literally spray me. So at that point, I'm like, okay, he's clearly serious about what he's doing. So as I'm trying to get up, I slip, boom, hit my head, fall back down. I'm soaked. I get out, we get to arguing. And I just remember looking at him. It's like I couldn't tell if he was here or if he wasn't here. I just remember seeing this. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, I was so confused. I really thought he was like, okay, maybe a little upset, but was just mad because, okay, I didn't answer the door. But now you see me. Now you're happy. So I literally thought he was picking me up to take me to the room. I didn't know he was picking me up to take me to my bathroom and do that. So afterwards, I just remember um we arguing. I'm looking at him. It's like he's a different person. I couldn't even recognize him. That was the first time he ever did that. Anytime prior to that, everything was nice. That was the first time that he did, that was even before he threw the stuff and damaged the wall. This was the first time. And you would think Chama leave, right? But like I said, I wasn't smart enough. I didn't recognize what I was dealing with. I thought it was normal because I'm not gonna say I grew up seeing that. I've never seen my parents abuse each other ever. I've actually barely ever seen them argue. Um, but like I just thought it was normal. I don't know why. I just thought it was. I guess maybe based off of like the surroundings of my environment, like growing up in Philly, but like I don't know why I thought it was like okay for something like that. So I just remember like maybe after like 20 minutes of not speaking, it was like he switched back into the guy that I liked. And now it's like, please don't make me have to do that to you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have, it was like that type of thing, like just completely look. It's like you can see it in somebody's eyes when they're not, I don't know if y'all understand what I mean. But yeah, that was one situation. Then another tweet was don't waste your time on a man who leaves you on Valentine's Day after you cook him a whole meal because your roommate is home and he wanted to be alone. I remember this. He surprised me on Valentine's Day. I think the video is no longer on YouTube. I think it's down. I don't know. It's been so long, but it's a clip on my YouTube. Excuse me. Mind you, this was 2017. He came in with like a big ass bear, big ass card, some designer clothes, designer belt, some flowers, a whole nice thing. I was such a shock to me. Mind you, this is like a month after that other situation had happened. Actually, it was probably a few weeks after, I'm not gonna lie. Because I remember that being in January. The tub thing was in January for sure. And then it was Valentine's Day a few weeks later. And then I cooked the meal. Everything was great. We had sex. Then for some reason, I don't know if it was like post nut clarity. Then it became, why is your roommate here? I'm like, what the hell you mean she live here? He did not like my roommate. My roommate didn't like him for obvious reason. And he was just like, she should go. Where's her boyfriend at? Where's her nigga? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm not her business like that. Literally gets mad and leaves. Now, be smart, ladies. Now I know if a man leaves you on Valentine's Day, he gonna go see the other girl. That's really what it was. I just was too stupid and inexperienced to really know like that was a thing. So that was another thing. Um, there's so many other tweets that I had, and I kid you guys not, I screenshot, probably can't even see because it's a big ass light, but I screenshot like every single tweet. I just started saying everything on there. I don't know if I ever deleted these tweets. I got on Snapchat, I'm going in, and I remember like there's even more like I remember doing this, but I literally realized like, wow, Chama, like you've been through a lot that you don't talk about. You never addressed it. You have gone from that traumatic situation to another one, to another one, to now you're at a point where you're fed up. Thank God that He's given me the discernment to know that you don't deserve this shit. You're a great girl. You know what I'm saying? Somebody should be lucky to deal with you. That's where I'm at. So it's like, I'm happy that I finally reached this place. It took me forever. It took me to like 2021 is when I feel like I started to get myself back, but then I was like re-inflicted by trauma. Because my second college ex and I, like, we didn't try to get back together, no, but we just tried to like start over. Didn't work out. Granted, this time around, he's acknowledged all the stuff that happened, which I'll never be ready to talk about like what really went down. Cause I feel like it's just, I just can't. Like, I don't know. But like it's just the first guy was like actual abuse and psychotic crazy. You know, I will never want to talk to him or speak to him ever again. The second guy was just more like the infidelity, which is still very much abuse. I think cheating is abuse, but it's like, you know, you can apologize for cheating, but it was like more to the story, basically. So I say all this to say, you know, I'm rambling, but you know, I literally realized from when I did my Summer Walker video the other day, like, wow, like the reason why I can talk about Summer Walker or Jada Wada or whomever is because I've been them girls. Like, you know, I've been there. I've been stupid for a guy. I've been putting up with stuff that I shouldn't. I've been there. That's why I be going in on them. Like, I don't really be trying to come for them like on some, oh, you think you're better than them or you're a pick me. No, I really don't. I really be trying to say like I've been here. I've been exactly where these girls are. I know exactly what they're feeling. I know what pressure they're under. I know the mental games. I know the manipulation. I know that this guy did all of this to get your attention and then switched up on you. I've been there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for me, I never realized that I never addressed that trauma until I did that video a few days ago. Like, real bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that was my first time, like, shit. Have you ever thought about this shit, trauma? Or did you just take it and let time heal and move on? Have you tackled this stuff? Do you want to go into your adulthood with this? The biggest thing for me is okay. I'm trying. I'm trying. Okay. I'm trying. Trying. I'm trying. Okay. The biggest thing for me is I don't want to repeat any of my mistakes. I don't want to, let's say, get married, have a daughter, and she do the same things I did. I just don't want to do that. But I realized that at 26, I'm at the perfect age where I'm old enough to acknowledge all of this. I'm trying so hard, like, not to be ugly, but, I'm old enough to acknowledge all of this. I'm old enough to, like, learn from my mistakes. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but, like, the way how I used to talk on YouTube maybe, like, 2, 3 years ago is not how I talk now. I feel like I'm, like, way more fair, way more mature about stuff because I've lived, you know? I don't be getting on YouTube and doing commentary to judge anybody. I mean, slightly, we all judgmental, but it's more or less like I have truly been there. I've truly dealt with it. And I be telling myself, like, I've gotten over the part where it's like, oh, you're not good enough and you'll never find the one. I don't even think that way. I know I am, but it's just like, I've never taken the time to really address this stuff. I've never taken the time to really heal. I've never taken the time to really be like, what's the problem? You know, it's like a mental game. That's why people like have a lot of mental issues because your trauma sits in your head, you know? It's one thing to get physically abused, not downplaying it, but, you know, your wounds can heal sometimes, you know? But that mental aspect is like, what are you gonna do? So, I did this live stream to just be transparent, to be real. Hopefully, you know, there's somebody, one of y'all out there that's dealt with something similar, um, to be hopeful, to be prayerful, to be excited to be in a better space, to be, um, I guess you could say a teacher in a way, to be faithful and to believe and have faith that things get better. But I'm just trying to figure out what resources do I need to take to really like get the ball rolling because it literally wasn't until a few days ago that I realized that I've never tackled any of this. And there's no way that I can move on. I keep thinking, like, why am I so apprehensive when guys, some good guys, you know, good prospects try to talk to me? Why do I just like self sabotage sometimes in the way, be like, okay, like friend zone, or okay, not interested. Okay, I'm good. My aunties are starting to look at me like, what's wrong with her? I'm like, nothing's wrong with me, but like, y'all have to understand, like, there's a lot of stuff that gets unaddressed in order for me to like move on. I can't go and give myself to somebody else if internally things are not, you know, what I want them to be. I feel like I wake up every day confident and ready to go. And it's not really about finding the right man. I could give a fuck about that. It's just about healing myself. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be good. I want to be able to go into a space where I'm like, okay, Chi, you you can tackle this, you can handle this. I don't want to keep running from that type of interaction from people. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to feel like every person is out there to try to like get me. And it gets harder because now it's like the last thing I'm gonna say is having a YouTube where you do have a platform, you do have hundreds of thousands of people that watch you, follow you. You know, I could post a video, it gets 30, 40, 50, 60,000 views. I had a video that did over 100K last month, you know? So it's like you're very visible. I go out now, I meet subscribers. That's the best thing that I love about this is when y'all say, oh my God, are you Queen Chama? I watch your videos. That's the best part of doing this. I encourage y'all, like, if y'all see me speak, please, let's take pictures, let's do whatever. But like it also has brought in a lot of, I think, people that have bad intentions. both romantically and people like friendship wise. Y'all don't ever see me on here with a whole bunch of girls. I mean, I started building relationships and realizing like you do know have people, you do know girls, you do have friends that you could at least do social things with. You just they just don't live by you, but you can plan stuff with these ladies. So I'm planning to go to Miami for Carnival in October with a group of girls. We're doing like a girls trip. It's gonna be my first girls trip, and I'm like trying to put myself back out there. My whole purpose of this summer was be outside, be social, talk to people. Don't be in your head. Don't sit inside all day and think that, you're not worthy of the being outside and enjoying life like everybody else. You're too young and too turned, in my opinion, to just be thinking that that's the best that you can do. And like when people come to me and they're like, oh, why don't we ever see you here? Why don't you ever do this? And this, that, and the other. It's like I had to question myself, like, Chama, what are you doing? You were in the prime of your life right now. You were young, single, no babies, um, good platform for yourself. You went to school, you finished, you're in your prime, and you're not taking the steps to help yourself. So that was part of this live, was just thinking about all of this all day, and just having an outlet. I was literally about to go to the gym. It's literally walking distance from my house, but I was just like, it's a little late. I was literally going to go to the gym thinking like I just maybe just need to get in the gym. That'll help me blow off some steam. But I just got this frontal. I ain't trying to sweat it out too much. It's my first frontal in like 2 years. But I'm like, I wanted to go to the gym, but I'm like, what else can you do? I tried to like bury myself in my work earlier. I was editing a video and I just could not bring myself to like finish it. I'm like, mentally couldn't do it. So I think I just needed this therapy session, I guess you can say, with y'all, just to kind of like get it off, get it out, get it out, just talk about it. I've been through a lot of shit, and I don't think people know that about me. I'm talking like a lot of shit, a lot of shit. Even for somebody that grew up with two parents in the household, didn't grow up rich at all. My parents was trying everything they could. They're immigrants, there's only so much they could do. They just got to a point in life where they feel very secure and comfortable. They put all three of their kids through college. Like I grew up very humble. Built this for myself. I didn't think I could do YouTube, but somehow it works. I saw somebody today who did a reaction to my video and I was so shocked. I said, let me find out people reacting to me. So it's like, I think of all the positives, but I want the negative aspects. I want to work on them. I feel like that's part of me being mature, growing up. When I turned 25 last year, that was the year that like my brain just went, and I completely understood like what I needed to do to start doing better, what I really wanted, the types of energy I wanted around me, the type of company I wanted to keep, what I was looking for in a man, the type of career I wanted for myself, putting myself first. That was what that this past year was. Now at 26, I mean, I've only been 26 for 2 weeks. But like now I want to heal myself. I want to get back out there. I've told myself, be outside this summer, be social. Like, don't just sit in the house. Don't just rely on the fact that you make decent money online. Like, actually put yourself out there. Don't just sit in the house and, be doing nothing. Like, put yourself back out there. The guys that you've dealt with and the stuff that you've dealt with should not be hindering you from doing what you want to do. It shouldn't be telling me like, oh, you don't deserve this, Even like as far as like college, like I remember at the end of college, I really wanted friends, like-minded friends. I went through the whole college and barely had friends. I had my roommates and stuff, but like I never had a group of friends in college. I remember at the end, like it was something that I really tried to pursue, being social and stuff, but it was like kind of short-lived. COVID messed it up. But it's like I never really got to get back out there. My college ended because of, like I said, the pandemic. And then I feel like I just been coasting. And when my college ended, then I went through that, like I said, breakup that was like super bad. And then it took me so long to heal from it because it wasn't even like somebody cheated and now you about to be breaking up and be sad and get over it. It was more like somebody cheated, deceived you, abandoned you, basically made you cater to their life, make big decisions cater to their life, as well as mine, that will affect me for the rest of my life. You know, I have to live with certain shit for the rest of my life because of one individual. So it's like, not an STD, because that sounded crazy. I don't have an STD. I'm just gonna put that out there because that sounded so crazy. But just certain decisions that I had to make, like just to have to live with it for the rest of my life and just be like, damn, like, okay, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta just heal and move on and do better. So that was like my goal for this year. I've been on here for an hour, so I'm gonna probably like dip off. um, I'm getting text messages. Yeah, I'm probably gonna tap out in like the next 2 minutes, but thank y'all for just listening to me rant. I really didn't have like any real topic. I mean, not topic, but I didn't have like real talking points. It's kind of just off the dome. Um, I've learned so much. That's why I have this platform. That's why I love what I do. I hate that YouTube suppresses me, but I've learned so much just as a young lady, my early 20s, I guess you could say. I'm still young, but I've learned so much that that's why I go so hard at all the stuff I be talking about. Like, even as far as like Ice Spice, that video with the girl, the teenager, her music video, like, bro, I've been assaulted sexually as an 11-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I be going so hard. Like, people want to just say like, "Oh, it's whatever, it's whatever, it's whatever." It's not whatever, bro. Like, it's not. Stuff like that matters to me for a reason because I've lived it. I've been there. I've done that. Um, when I think back to like everything I've dealt with from day one up till now, I be trying to tell myself like, how the hell are you even this strong? Like, there's people that's never been through that type of stuff, or even if they have, there's people that, you know, I smile and have this platform and this brand that most people, that's all they see. I think in my day-to-day life, most people don't realize I have a life. Most people that come into contact with is just talking about YouTube or music or my other businesses or just, you know, being this interesting individual. But the human side of me is like, sometimes I feel like it just gets completely neglected because I'm always doing so much. So that was part of the reason why, you know, even for my business, I'm taking basically a hiatus for my agency after the fall because I want to focus on myself. I want to live life. I want to be able to get up and travel. I want to go here and there. Stuff like that. So, like I said, y'all, thank you for coming to my TED Talk or whatever. I haven't even been wearing my retainer. That's how messed up I've been. So I don't even, my teeth look straight, but in person, I'm just like, but that's another thing. Let me add that in. There was a lot of things that I did to like regain my confidence after the last breakup, such as getting Invisalign. That's something I always wanted to do, but you know, such as getting the Invisalign, like I made sure to get it as soon as I had the money to get it out of college. I got microneedling to like clear up my face because I've always been somebody that has acne scars. My face is like so much better than it ever used to be, but like stuff like that because I felt so insecure even though I thought I was a bad bitch. Like, I just felt so insecure after that situation because it's like cheating just really sucks. Like, why? You don't have to like lie. Just, yeah. But it was like even worse. Like, the situation wasn't just cheating. Like I said, it was like abandonment when shit got serious. So it's like I resented everything about me, what I looked like. I had lost so much weight. I literally was looking like a lollipop with my big old head and my tiny little tall long ass body. And um I just remember like 2 years ago versus now, it's like night and day because it was points where I couldn't even get up out the bed. I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to hurt myself, but I didn't want to be here, if that makes sense. Um, so it's just been a long time coming. But the one thing I know that I have not done was actually address this trauma, whether it be professionally or just being honest about the stuff that I've been through and really trying to like work at it, do better. I don't put that much blame on myself because why would I blame myself for something somebody did to me, right? But I do put blame on myself for allowing it to continue for the time that it did. And I really wish that I could go back and just be like, leave, leave, like shake me, like, please stop, leave, leave. I really wish I could do that. But sometimes I'm like, I'm happy that I went through it because now going forward, it can never happen again, or the signs, or whatever. Like sometimes I'm like, if that would have never happened, you wouldn't be as confident as you are today. Or if this would have never happened, you wouldn't be as like no nonsense as I am today. If this would never happen, you wouldn't be as um positive. Even like I said, I feel like before on YouTube, if you go back to like Trauma 2019 or around that time, like the way how I used to talk on YouTube is not the way how I talk anymore. Like I'm way more mature, I guess. I would hope. But again, thank y'all for everybody that came in here. I really was not planning on going live, but I couldn't think of any other outlet right now. So I know people be like, "Oh, keep your business to yourself," but for me, it's like I never really talk about my business. I talk about everybody else. Um, but I just felt like there's somebody, one of y'all that watch me. I know I have guys in here, girls in here, younger women, teenagers, older women. I have a big demographic, very diverse demographic of people who watch me. I just kind of felt like somewhere down the line, somebody has had to have gone through something either similar or just a time period where you felt like this is the worst day ever. And I'm here to say, like, it gets better. I don't really think about this stuff daily, but I just was recently triggered, hence why I just got so emotional and wanted to talk about how to deal with trauma. So I guess we can end off. I'll look at some of the comments if y'all just want to tell me just different ways that you've dealt with your trauma, different outlets, different resources, different things that you guys have done, that I can look into or at least just consider. Because for me, it's like I don't really have any girlfriends that I talk to on a daily basis. There's not one friend that I talk to on a daily basis that's a girlfriend. Um, I talk to my manager. He's like my best friend at this point, but it's like he's a guy at the end of the day. So it's not like the same when you're talking to your girls. Like guys don't always understand where we be coming from, and then us women, we don't always understand a man's mindset. So it's like I don't really call like, hey sis, can you come over and let's pick dandelions and eat ice cream? Like I don't do that. I don't really feel like I have that resource. Also, I have my little sister, but my little sister still lives in Philly, so it's like we're so far away. I barely see her. That was part of the reason why I really want to move, because I need to leave, and just get in a different mind space. Like another thing, I know I keep being like, oh, this is the end, but here I come back. I'm sorry, y'all. I just have to say this too. But another thing that I feel like also plays a role into like why I've dealt with this, or why I'm like still dealing with some of that trauma, is because I still live in the same city that all my trauma happened, you know? I went to college here. I'm still living here. And sometimes for the longest, this is actually ironic. So both the guys I did in college actually went to the same school, which is my school's rival school, my college's rival school, about 30 minutes away from here. So when I go home to my parents' house, I always pass the campus, like it's literally on the road. And I remember at the beginning of like the breakup the first time, at that time, I don't think my parents were living in that area. So I wouldn't like, I just didn't go back there. Everything I needed to do was where I was at. But the second time, the second guy, my parents had moved to where they live at now. And I remember every single time I would drive past the exit to where their school was, like you can see the football stadium, you can see the signs and everything. I would just get triggered every time. And I would like, my body would change. I'm in the car and I'm like, okay, I know it's coming up. I know it's coming up. And it would just shake me until eventually it didn't. Like I drove by there this past weekend. I was out of town. I had to drive by there. It didn't move me at all. Honestly, when I drove by, I said, fuck that nigga. But um it's just ironic how when you think you're doing good, you're having such a great day, and then something triggers you. That's how I just realized, like, no, Chama, you're not healed. You're healing, but you're not all the way there. Um, so I just really, really, really want some resources. I'm reading some of y'all's comments the best I can, and most of y'all are saying therapy really helped. Megan Michelle said therapy has helped me tremendously. I write letters to myself and the people who have hurt me to help me with healing. I've started going to the gym so I can feel better about myself for my health. Yeah, I feel like I kind of did the same thing as well, where it's like, okay, I'm writing letters, not writing letters, but like my writing letters is like writing script for YouTube videos. Like I wake up and I write a script. I don't always post every day, but like being able to kind of journal helps, you know? And then obviously going to the gym as well. I think the gym is because you release those like chemicals, those feel good chemicals. So it kind of just like makes you feel so much better. I don't know, going to the gym. Someone said, "Oh yeah, girl, please move ASAP." Yeah. And like I had to like really realize that. And it's like I left here like 2020 when when I was done with school. Once my lease was up, I moved back home. But then last year, 2022, I moved back here for business, for work. And I don't regret it because I had to do my business, especially with music. All the stuff I do is here, but I can do music anywhere. I can do YouTube anywhere. I can do my business anywhere. And everybody kept telling me, like, you need to put yourself first. You are always worried about everybody. You don't ever do anything for yourself. You've made money and you don't even buy yourself nice things. Like, I have a few, designer bags or whatever, but like, I don't ever buy myself nothing nice. I be putting money right back into my business, right back into my music. I got a song dropping. So even honestly, I wrote a song about my second college ex. And I think a part of like this triggering trauma, even though they call me Queen Trauma Trigger. Part of it is I've been looking for a male lead for that music video, and I haven't found one. So if y'all know any tall, sexy daddies, please tell them contact me for the video because I swear these boys be acting scared. But I've been looking for somebody to do the video, and I've had like a few people I was considering, but they're not serious. And I got the beat made. I know the song, and I listened to the song the other day, and I was like, wow, like this is deep. And I remember it was a point in time when me and my manager would go over all my music, I would never play that song because I'm like, had to bring it up. And I remember the first day I recorded it, um, I remember in the studio, the engineer was like, "Damn, you got me in my feelings." Um, and I was like, everybody in the studio that day was like, "Damn, like you, I could tell this shit's real." And so yeah, like I said, I've been looking for somebody to do the song, the music video. Like I said, if you know any tall, sexy daddies, tell them to hit me up for the video. But literally, it kind of re-triggered me because I had to listen to the song again. And I was just like, I still want to put it out because it helped me. Writing that song really helped me. I would love to play it for y'all, but I don't know if I'll get copywritten because the first beat that I had was just like another beat that I found, but I have a different beat now that I haven't recorded the vocals for. But I think y'all I've actually no, I've played it before. It's just in an old ass video, but let me see. Well, stop playing with these niggas. And I loved you, but I don't need you. And you thought that I would never ever leave you. I'm on my own now, so it's up now. And you know I don't really give a fuck now. And I was wrong too, cause I ain't perfect. But hurting me, you know it wasn't worth it. And you don't care that you really harmed me. But the least you could have done was say sorry. How you think I felt when I kept getting texts from a shorty you kept talking to who said she was your ex? And how you think I felt when I found out all your lies? You had no empathy even though you saw me cry. And how you think I felt when I realized I got played? I should have left you sooner and I should have never stayed. And how you think I felt when my heart was really hurt? That shit I did was petty, but you got what you deserve. I didn't like you when I met you. Thought you was nothing special, but I fell for you, end up being detrimental. This is why they say loving yourself is fundamental, cause a nigga leave you feeling worthless, mess up all your mental. To others he was tough, but I saw him as gentle. Neck tattoo, lead loaded like a Pain can turn an angel to a demon, and I know life can turn the soft into semen, and I know past hurt can affect your reason. I let you on my heart when I knew that you was leaving. That's crazy. I really forgot about that, but yeah, I want to drop that in the fall. It's coming. But I really like, I wrote that so long ago. Most of my music I wrote like so long ago. So when people be like, "You're getting better," I'd be like, y'all know I actually wrote this years ago. I only have like a few songs that I wrote recently. But anyway, I say all this to say thank y'all again. I'm gonna definitely look into I was gonna say, what the hell is that noise? The song's still playing. I'm definitely gonna look into just ways that I can like channel this. I feel like honestly, part of my healing is also, like I said, getting outside and being social. Kind of jumping over that fear that when I go outside and social settings, I can feel comfortable because I wasn't comfortable for the longest. I remember um, my ex just being like, "Girl, you need to be inside. Why are you doing this?" I remember one time during COVID, they had a party. I don't know why they were still having parties. It was like a party. And I remember he literally left me in his apartment to go to the party with him and his friends. I just remember like so much stuff, like, I don't know. And I hate to say that I've allowed people to abuse me because that sounds crazy, but it's like I kind of have. So I just want to like redeem myself. Like before I dated that second guy, after the first guy, it was like a long period of not dating, just, living my college life. And I feel like because it ended so bad, I actually was happy when it was all over because I'm like, finally, this guy can leave you alone. Um, and a side note, I remember hacking my first college ex's Gmail, Google Drive. I didn't hack it. He left it signed in. I didn't think it was going to sign in. So I remember going through it and I saw this video of these pictures of this girl in a neck brace. And then one day we had got into it real bad, like real bad, to a point where like he threw my phone, like tried to break my phone. Somehow my phone didn't break. He threw my stuff. I was at his apartment. And I remember he was like, after he like stormed off and calmed down, I was crying. We went to the car and he was like trying to go get me some food. We were trying to get some food. And I remember he just like sat there and he was just like looking, just like with a blank stare, just looking into nowhere. I remember he was like, "Chama, I don't want to get to the point where I do something to you that really, really hurts you. I put my last ex-girlfriend in a neck brace and it eats me alive. So I really don't want us to get to that point. I'm sorry." Mind you, this is after he already threw the phone like earlier that night. And I just kept remembering like, wow. So that was the picture that I saw. You hurt her neck to the point where she was in a neck brace. And it was just so much like I can't believe like all of that, honestly. So yeah, that was kind of anticlimactic to I kind of want to end there. Um I've learned so much. I have like red flag radar. Boundaries is the number one thing I've learned. I don't let people play with me. I don't really care about anybody who tries to fuck with me. I don't be You could get nexted. And I think like that blocker that I have is has been a defense mechanism, but one of those positive defense mechanisms in which you're like, okay, you've been through this before, you're acknowledging what's going on, and you can move from it. Sometimes I'm gonna be real and I'm gonna end off with this, but sometimes I look at other people's relationships, which you should never do and compare. Of course, I'll be telling y'all these people are not goals, but sometimes I look at certain people's relationships that like I know personally, and I'm like, how the hell is she able to always get into something healthy? There was this one girl I was talking to. Like I said, I was out of town this past weekend. It was this one girl who lives in the city that I was going to, and she was going to do makeup for my models. And she was in a relationship all through college. It was a cute little relationship. I don't know. They broke up. Now she's in another relationship, and they like live together. And I'm just like, how the hell do these girls find these guys that treat them nice? And how come I've never come across a man who wants to treat me nice? Like, why? And that's the worst thing you can do is question it. um, but it's like natural, like I'd be like, why? Like, how? And so then it starts making you feel like something wrong with you, but I got over that, like, "Chama, ain't shit wrong with you, it's just you gotta acknowledge your patterns, but also have boundaries and have standards." So, I raised my standards so high, um, a nigga can't even get a burger out of me, so I just wanna end there. Again, I know I said thank you, like, 30 minutes ago, but thank y'all for tuning in. I know it got, like, super emotional, but this is just raw, relatable content, and I needed to, like, clear my mental today because 'cause it's been weighing heavy on me for, like, the past few days when I really went back and listened to what I said. Usually when I write my script, I'm just, like, as I'm thinking of it, I'm writing it or I'm talking in my phone, but when you put the videos all together and you have your thoughts clear with the music and the beat drops and the visuals, and I actually, like, went back and heard everything I said, I was like, whoa. So, there was one girl who had commented, like, "You talk about yourself too much." I'm like, "Girl, this is my channel." On top of that, it's a reason why I input my personal examples, my age, just everything because I know I can relate to all of these people, including those of you that watch me. So, thank you guys so much. Maybe we can do more of these. Maybe not on YouTube because I'm a little skeptical, but trying to get back into my Patreon. August is just going to be such a busy month, but once August is over, it's like y'all can get me back full time. I know I've been posting a lot because I've been like on it, but like I've been super busy. So once August is over, I can like have way more time to devote to all the things I want to do between music, excuse me, YouTube, Patreon, my merch. I wanna drop my Because No t-shirts, so Imma try to get them out, like, this week, though, because I already, like, did all the work, but there's a lot of things I wanna do. So, again, thank you guys for tuning into this live. I appreciate all the well wishes, I appreciate the support, I appreciate the suggestions, I appreciate the resources, I appreciate the empathy, I appreciate y'all's transparency as well. So, please, if you wanna talk after this live, let's probably talk on Twitter or something. I don't know. I'm about to try to put on a movie and just be done for the day and just clear my head and think of something else. So again, thank y'all. Things will get better, Chama. Thank you, Tamira. I appreciate that. I just saw that one come up. Um, Thank you so much. Love y'all and have a good night. All right, bye guys.